All right, hey, what's up, everybody? It's that half-breed, and I'm back with another deck talk, and it's time. I played Buggy because it was the fresh hotness, but now we need to talk about my fave, my lady, one of my favorite decks to ever get made in One Piece, and that's Jewelry Bonney. And I think Bonney's actually in a pretty decent spot right now. Bonney's the type of leader that is just so inherently strong as a base leader of the leader effect is just so strong that it feels like it's hard to ever entirely push it out of the format, right? Paying one to rest one leader or character is just so strong, and it allows you to keep this fundamental game plan that I really enjoy of just extending the game one turn longer, and one turn longer, and one turn longer. And then all of a sudden your opponent's like, I've almost got him. He's almost dead. He's almost dead. He's almost dead. And then they look down and they're like, oh wait, I'm dead. And then you just kill them all in one shot, right? And this deck definitely had a rough time in the world of Sakazuki, followed by Red Purple Law, followed by Lucci, because it is kind of weak to removal. That's the biggest weakness of this deck, is you're tapping out every turn almost to play one guy, maybe two guys if you're lucky. And if people are able to turn after turn remove your guy, it becomes very tough. But when the matchup is about characters, when it's two decks playing characters attacking into each other, that's where Bonney really shines. And thankfully a lot of the Luffy decks that are in the meta right now do that. They mainly focus on playing and attacking with characters, so Bonney's really good at stopping those matchups. So blue purple is still a tough matchup, and the matchup you're most likely going to lose outside of the black matchups, Blackbeard and Teach. But there's still a lot to like about it, and I have a bit of a different deck list, but the new starter decks really did help the deck's consistency a lot. So I'll show you guys, and we'll talk about it. So first we have Bonney's early game. And in the early game, we have our Searcher package of Kid Killer and Jewelry Bonney. I have two different flavors of Jewelry Bonney here. I got some super pre-release ones because I've been playing green cards since set 2, when I first discovered and learned about the game. My very first deck I ever played was a blue-purple Crocodile deck, so I'm a big fan of all the Crocodile cards, which is one of the reasons why I liked playing Buggy. But then the second deck I ever picked up was a starter deck, Eustace Kid deck, that I was able to buy from my local, and I played Kid for so long, many people who have been watching my Twitch for a long time know that I kind of blew up on Twitch by getting third place in a treasure cup with Kid, and that's my biggest accomplishment to date. I got a cereal off of it, and I had a really great time. 8-drop Kid and me were locked in. That's my one true love right there. But for a long time, you only really had 4 searchers with Jewelry Bonney, and the only option you got after that is More Pizza, the event searcher, and that card was not very good. Adding extra counterless cards to your deck, always very tough. It's such a tight balance already of so many high cost cards in this deck. But the Kid Killer, I cannot stress how much Kid Killer really helps improve this deck. It's so good in so many ways, both of a consistency piece, making you hit your late game stuff more consistently, finding your 8-drop kids, finding your 2Ks, but also the second part of the card where you can sacrifice it basically and put it in your trash and untap a Dawn is so strong in so many different ways for consistency. And it does way more than you think. For example, if you have a Kid Killer in play, you cannot be Hody Jones. You cannot be Hody Jones, at least not to stop your leader effect, because if they Hody Jones your untapped Dawn, as soon as they can attack, you can sacrifice this, get an untapped Dawn, and then immediately activate your leader effect before they're ever able to rest that Dawn again. So it protects you in a lot of ways. it lets you do the thing that the deck wants to do, which is tap out every turn. Every turn, you're trying to rest every single Don you have to play a dude or two dudes and get more value slowly over time with your leader effect. So I think you really should play the full 8 searchers. And then we kind of have like our mid-game pieces, blockers, and stuff to keep you alive. There's Rosinante. And then the other blockers I'm playing is 3 Uroge and 2 Pedro. So Uroge is just a really nice, flexible blocker. Getting the untapped on really helps. Rosinante obviously combos with 8-drop Kid and protects all your rested characters. Pedro right now is one of the things that I've had to, that are kind of forced into the deck to help yourself against decks like Bello Betty, Zoro, and most importantly, Green Purple Luffy. But against Green Purple Luffy, Pedro is really strong at killing their Sanji Pudding. The first one they can make bigger with a stage, but once they have 2 in play, Pedro is almost guaranteed to be able to kill one of them. And if not, at least it'll kill like a Zoro Juro or something like that. So it's a really nice way to block and kill something, take out 2 threats in one go, and it helps keep you alive in the Green-Purple Luffy matchup, which can sometimes be kind of tough. Okay. And then we have our mid-game hitters here. The unfortunate part, I really hope that this is going to get reprinted soon. The Cavendish. Cavendish is like the one card that's keeping so many people from playing this deck. They're like $40 each now, which is really sad. I wish they were cheaper. I want them to be cheaper because I want more people to be able to play green. But any Supernova leader, you want to play this card. It's so insane. Basically costs 3. Lets you attack. Lets you do 8-drop Kid plus leader effect. Lets you still activate your leader effect and attach a Don to 8-drop Kid if you have, if you want to play a 10-drop. Just provides you so much value if they don't kill it immediately, right? Like, this is like such a must kill so often. And if they don't kill it, you get to really, really snowball. Carrot's a really nice defensive card. It's only at 3 just because there's a bunch of matchups where the card is not that strong, especially right now. Especially since a lot of the purple decks started switching to playing 8-drop category. That card gets ignored. That card gets to ignore Carrot. But it's still really good. You could potentially play a 4th copy, but I wanted to make sure I have enough 2Ks and other stuff. And once 8-drop Rosinante starts to see more play in OP12, I think that's when we can maybe pick up 4 copies of Carrot. Yeah, strong card, but not quite worth 4 copies, I feel like. All right, now we get to the big boys, the late game, and there's a lot of them. We got 3 Kid, 3 Shanks. Then there's 2 10-drop Doflamingo and 2 9-drop Zoro. Now, Kid is, of course, one of the best cards in the deck. My favorite card. The card that really, like, gives green an identity, almost, it feels like. There's so often where you are so free to just take early damage and be like, sure, I'll add that card to my hand. Sure, I'll take another damage, add that card to my hand. Just because you know you have an 8-drop Kid in hand that'll stabilize you and basically give you a 8K leader, right? Like, 8K leader is still really good, even in the world of 6K and sometimes 7K leaders. We're still the OG 8K leader right here. Now, for the longest time, it felt like you had to play 4 copies of this just because you had to see one every game. But now that we have 4 Bonney and 4 Kid Killer, it's a lot easier to search for this. So we're only at 3 now. And then there's 3 Shanks. Shanks is the main card that feels like it's the best late game play for you right now. because it's guaranteed to kill Sanji Pudding against green purple. It's guaranteed to kill Beer Luffy against blue purple. And it's guaranteed to, you know, wipe something out against purple Luffy or whatever deck. It almost always kills something, and even if it doesn't, it's still a really, really good stat line for attacking into characters or for ending the game, right? Even against Blackbeard, sometimes it's totally fine to just play this Shanks on 9 because it is basically a vanilla stat line of a 9/11, right? Oh no, 9/11. Then we have 2 Don Quixote, Doflamingo, and 2 Zoro. Doflamingo's a little tough. Again, another card where you have to start cutting copies because of 8 cost Katakuri and how popular and how strong that card is. If they have 8 cost Katakuri, 10 drop Doflamingo doesn't do that much. But there are many matchups where this is the only card that will keep you alive. If you play this, you're like guaranteed to not die. Because unless they have a rush card, you know, you're completely invulnerable. And even if they do have a rush card, you probably have enough counter to survive one swing if that's all they can do is the one swing. And Zoro is kind of one of those things where it's like, I wish I could not play it, but Zoro's a card that's like for your bad matchups, for playing against Teach, playing against blue-purple. Playing a Zoro is one of the few things that can help you win sometimes, because against Teach, you want to force them to play 10-drop Teach on the Zoro. Because if they play 10-drop Teach on your kid, it makes life a lot harder, because then the kid can't attack the next turn, and it's not rested, and it doesn't protect you. So if you can play the Zoro first, and then follow it up with a kid, it makes it really tough for them, like, which one do I freeze with my 10-drop Teach? And of course, against blue-purple, you just have to play this thing and pray that they don't find a red rock. But if they don't, sometimes that's enough to kill them. It's a type of card that's very situational. You can only play this card when you're already at a high life total. And there's a lot of matchups where you're just going to get pressured too much early to play this card and actually survive a turn. Especially if you don't already have like a 8-drop kid out or something. But every now and then you'll play it, and if they don't kill it or you, free win. And that's why I like it at 2 copies. And then of course we got to talk about the best green card to have ever been printed, possibly ever. Hody Jones, my good friend Hody Bones, as I like to call him. This guy is so insane, right? Like, it forces all the purple Gum Gum Giant decks to play differently. They can't just leave up 1. Often they can't leave up 2. They have to leave up 3 or 4 Dawn so they don't get hit by Hody Jones. It rests blockers. It beats starve decks, right? If they're trying to starve you, you can use it to add a life to your hand. It lets you clear the board against aggro decks. It is rough because there's a lot of times you're being attacked down and you'll have too many Hody Jones in your hand and you'll die. But it's too insane to go below 4. This is really like 7-8 rush, add a life to hand, rest 2 things or Dawn, any combination. Has so much tech, so incredibly strong, so incredibly aggressive. This is how you finish most of your games, right? You stall out, stall out, stall out. Hody Jones kill you. Lastly, we just have our 2K package. It's a little bit split. You could split it even more. The big thing is you have to have 4 Tashigi. 4 Tashigi is a must. Really helps you protect your characters. Really great against especially all of the Mole Gun decks. The decks that try and kill your character with Mole Gun. Helps against the black decks as well. If you can play... The best thing is when you go second and you can play Cavendish, untap 2, play Tashigi. Then you have a protected Cavendish behind the Tashigi, and you're more likely to be able to get off an actual attack with the Cavendish, untap more Dawn, that type of stuff. And then outside of that, I'm playing for Basil Hawkins. It was being talked about that maybe we don't need 4 Hawkins, you could cut 2 and play the X-Drake instead. But X-Drake has always felt a little expensive for me. And the only matchups where X-Drake is really good is like aggro matchups. It's best against like the red chopper lists, the Drum Kingdom chopper. When they're playing the Drum Kingdom chopper, then you want to play this X-Drake, be able to attack into the chopper, and then still untap a Dawn. But I like 4 Hawkins just for consistency, just because you really want to make sure you can untap a Dawn at the end of your turn every turn. Because, again, it lets you just tap out more often, and not having to hold up the Dawn yourself, but just getting it for free makes such a difference. And this also is a reasonable stat line. It can attack into any of the red characters or smaller characters, right? Just attach 1 Dawn, it attacks leader, it's fine. So if you want to try this X-Drake instead of some of the Hawkins, you could. But I like being able to just play a 4-drop that lets me untap my Dawn, especially if you're going second. It's nice to have this if you don't have an Uroj or something like that. Then we got 2 Scratchman Apu. I just decided on this one because I think there are matchups where they do play some of the 2-cost blockers, right? Sometimes Teach plays Vasco Shot. The Nami decks play like the 1-drop blocker law. In the mirror, it can help you rest Rosinantes or something like that. So it is a nice little cheap rest effect. And you could maybe play X-Drake instead of this. That's like kind of up to you. And then the 2 0-cost event, just because we have so many high-cost cards that we have to be able to discard some of them, right? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So it's less than some other Bonney variants, which is why I get to only play 2. But you still have to be careful, right? Enough 8 or 10 drops, and there's just no way you'll be able to play them or discard them fast enough. So that's my Bonney list. I have a few cards that I just want to mention and talk about why I'm not playing them, but let you know what you potentially could be playing. I'm off of Smoker for right now. Again, when 8-cost Rosinante comes back, maybe we can start playing Smoker again. But just having a character that doesn't have an on-play effect, needs to attack to do something, is very tough. And the main thing is it can sometimes stop your other characters from untapping your Dawn. It doesn't stop Kid Killer, thankfully, but Uroj or Hawkins, if you have them in play, you can't really activate Smoker, otherwise it won't untap a Dawn at the end of turn. And that's been really awkward sometimes, so that's why I'm off of Smoker. And I have to talk about Law Beppo a little bit, man. I wanted this card to be good, man. I really, really did. I so wanted this card to be good. But it just, with the way Bonney is built currently, it really just doesn't work in the Bonney deck. I feel like this is a green 10-drop for other decks. Potentially more aggressive green decks. Decks that aren't so much about playing 8-drop Kid. Because if you have 8-drop Kid in play, there's no reason for you to ever play Law Beppo. It just doesn't work out. It means you don't have a Dawn left over to attach to your Kid. You're making your leader a 7k, but they're not attacking your leader anyway. They're attacking the 8-drop Kid. And once 8-drop Kid rotates, we might be able to start playing Law Beppo. And other green decks, you know, mainly Carrot is the main one that comes to mind, really could potentially use Law Beppo, but any green deck that's built around 8-drop Kid, it feels very questionable as to why you would also play Law Beppo. And I think that's pretty much it. Bonney is like in a decent spot. I've been having a really good time in the ladder, right? I had a 70% win rate for a while. That's only over 20 games, but it's pretty good. I'll try and put it up there with some video editing skills of mine that I'm working on, hopefully. And you do have a lot of good matchups, right? Purple Luffy's a good matchup. Black Purple Luffy's a decent matchup. Green Purple Luffy is about 50-50. But if you go second, it's much easier to win. Going first is difficult sometimes, but second is very winnable. You're good against Bello Betty, of course, the purple Luffy Slayers. Zoro is kind of one of the bad matchups. And then, yeah, your worst matchups are definitely Blue Purple Luffy, Lucci, and Blackbeard. And, like, those are the 3 decks you're really just trying to dodge with Bonney. But if you dodge those 3 decks, you're good otherwise, because there's a lot of good matchups. Buggy, Bello Betty, Purple Luffy, Black Purple Luffy. And even, like, Smoker is okay. You got to be a little scared of the 5-drop Smoker. Smoker is like a 50-50 matchup. But I don't know. I think the deck is going to improve a lot come OP12, because we get some really good tools, both in the 8-drop Mihawk and the 5-drop blocker Bonney. That's like Green's Queen, which is really sick. But it's still, like, never going to be that bad of a deck. If you curve out, you curve out. I guess the last couple of pieces of advice I'll give is you really want to try and hold off on playing the 8-drop Kid, right? Whenever you have 8-drop Kid in your hand, you should be looking at your board and their board and asking yourself, do I die if I don't play the 8-drop Kid? And if the answer is no, then you should try and play other stuff and extend the game one more turn, and extend the game one more turn, and extend the game one more turn, right? Use your Shankses to destroy stuff. Use your Doflamingos to stall out a bunch of attackers. And try and just make sure that when you play your 8-drop Kid, you have at least some other board presence, right? Like, preferably a blocker. Preferably you've set up your hand to have as many actual counter cards as possible, and you've gotten your other non-counter cards out of your hand. And if you can just consistently every turn play a good guy and try and get ahead on board slowly, surely, clear their stuff, use your leader ability so you have to attack characters and they have to attack your life, right? That's a big plus. And it's really just like a consistency and patience style deck. And if you can exercise some consistency and exercise some patience, then Bonney really, really pays off, even in this Gum Gum Giant dominated metagame. So I really hope you'll give this deck a try. I hope I'll create some fellow green players, because I love me green decks. But thanks so much for watching, really. I really appreciated how much everybody enjoyed my buggy deck profile. Hopefully you guys will like this as well. Let me know what we can change, upgrade, do better, how you guys are feeling. And if there's any other decks that you want me to talk about, I'll try and test them on my stream at twitch.that_halfbreed, and I'll come back to you guys with the deck tech, hopefully. Maybe next time not with the paper cards, because I don't have all the paper cards in the world, but we'll see what we can do. I'm sure we can work something out, guys. Thanks so much. I really appreciate you guys. Sail the 7 seas and all that. Have a great day, everybody.